So you have to decide for yourself what failure means to you. Is failure terminal? I've always been really interested in the stories of people who either made it, right, to the peak of everything, and what next? What comes after success? Failure? No. Maybe it's an identity shift. And maybe, in fact, it's the undermining of those expectations that lead us to think that anything is failure. Failure seems like such a terminal word. It seems like no one is ever going to recover from it. It seems like there is no map after the cliff of failure, and we're all lemmings on our way over it. But the fact is, that's not true. Getting a bronze in the Olympics, how can that be construed as failure? I've heard people refer to silver medalists as first losers. And honestly, that is a sad, sad, disappointing way to look at the world. Because if you're one of the very best three in the world, I mean, for God's sake, did you not learn how to share in kindergarten? Get a grip. But having reached a pinnacle, and maybe not quite the pinnacle you wanted, or maybe you have reached the pinnacle, or maybe you reached nothing at all, or maybe you've lost your job, or maybe something catastrophic has happened to you, or maybe you just screwed up. What now? Who are you? Are you a failure? Have you failed? The word itself, I actually know some people who call it a dirty word. Don't let it into their house, like swear words. But the word itself is simply a reflection of a disappointment, of a place where expectations and outcomes did not match, right? Because if you expected that it wouldn't work out real great, you probably could weather it better. Although if you live your life like that, you won't live a very good life. I find it a little easier to think of failure as, quite honestly, a big layer of manure. And in all its forms, bullshit. Spread it out. It's going to stink. It's going to really, really stink. Anybody that lives in farm country knows this. But the next thing's going to grow. And the faith that it's going to grow is what gives you resiliency, is what gives you life after failure, is what makes failure just one of those things that happens, something that we learn from, something that is part of our landscape and brings the next thing to us.